trail and got into Reading. Went and saw the doctor, and they ran the usual urinalysis and said, "Hey, don't see any problem." The doctor I spoke to I like better than the last one. He seems to think it could be a thing called marching hematuria, which apparently young soldiers get when they are going to boot camp and stuff. And so they march a long way with their heavy packs, and sometimes they start peeing blood. So could be a similar thing to me. I don't know why now, but maybe I'm doing on average more miles. I don't know. But have to make it through the weekend. Saturday, which was yesterday, I went and had a blood test, and got to wait for the results on that one. And then on Monday, I'm going to have a scan of my kidneys. So gonna check it out and make sure it's nothing super serious. A little more diligence this time, which I'm happy for. So I'll be off the trail for a few days, unfortunately. Trying to catch up on doing some backups and things like that, and clearing off my phone, since all of these videos and pictures and everything really take up the space. So a little housekeeping, I guess, is good. And tonight, actually going to have a number of friends and family come over. It was kind of a get together. I asked my mom, said, "Hey, have people come on over and we'll say hi," because there was no way I was going to be able to get around and see everybody. But it turned kind of into a birthday party, since I actually celebrated my birthday when I was going through Lawson Park. So my birthday was actually out on the trail. So this is kind of going to be a see people in town and a birthday party at the same time. So that'll be good to see everyone and catch up. But I really won't know anything probably until Tuesday at the earliest. So I got a couple more days. I guess the rest will be good. But looking forward to seeing what the issue could be, and just getting back on the trail, because really feel like I'm burning up time here, but trying to be prudent.
When I first came in,
Sherry made that campfire.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Eric. Happy birthday to you and more.
It's been about a week. The medical system moves quickly for no one. But I've had a battery of tests, went through, blood test, urine test, imaging of my kidneys and bladder, the whole 9 yards, just to rule out anything super serious. And the good news is I appear to be super healthy. And so all the big stuff, or even some little stuff, it's not there. All levels are normal, all images are good, everything looks a-okay. So the doctor, he said his diagnosis is one of exclusion. So we exclude all the big stuff, and then it could be the little thing. And in this case, he thinks it's a thing called March hematuria, which is something that affects soldiers in boot camp, apparently. So when the young men go into boot camp and they put on these packs and they start marching, some of them come out and start peeing blood. And so it's considered to be fairly innocuous, I guess. He couldn't find any morbidity associated with it, so he said, hey, I'd say go for it. So guess I'm going for it. It's good that nothing's wrong, although I've lost like 2 weeks to this one thing now, so that's kind of frustrating. But it's good that there's nothing wrong. I am going to try to scale my miles back a little bit. I was going to try to do a lot more 30 pluses, but doing that now, it seems like, man, I should probably scale it back. So my body's not liking something when I get up, near the 30-mile mark plus. And so I'm going to say, like, hey, let's cap it at 25 for a while and see how that goes. And if it's not there at all, maybe I'll start creeping up a little bit from there and adding a couple more miles in just to make sure it's not a problem. But it doesn't seem like, even if I had it, that hiking would cause me any undue problems, so I'm going to go forward. But all of this time spent off the trail with medical issues has pushed me later and later in the year, and I'm coming up on August here. I'm going to go out today and finish out the small segment I left around the southern tip of Lake McLeod, and I need to get over to I-5. So I've got a short little 30-mile segment. So I was going to do that in one day, but with my 25-mile cap, I'm going to do some miles today and tomorrow, and then I'll head back into Redding. And then I'm going to go down to the Sierras. I kind of did a rough calc of, hey, what would it look like if I made it up to Washington now and then went down to the Sierras? And it looks like I'd be down in the Sierras in the end of September, which I'm fine with, but beginning of October. And it looks like a lot of services closed down in the early parts of September in the Sierras, so I'd rather have all the Sierras available to me too. So I think it's a good time to go do it and knock that out. There's a lot of snow that's gone. There's still snow that's there, but it should be a much more enjoyable hike now. So the plan is go out, finish this last little segment up to I-5 in Castella, and then I'll come back. I'm having my bear canister mailed to me, and then head on down to Kennedy Meadows, and I will start from there and go north and knock out the Sierras and that little section up to Truckee, and then I'll from Truckee come back up to Redding and continue on from I-5. And at that point, the miles will be the miles. I won't have the weird, I'm at mile 1450, but I'm actually at mile 1000. So that'll be nice to have the mile numbers actually match up to everything. I was originally going to finish the little 30-mile segment from Lake McLeod to I-5 that I didn't finish because I got off the trail for my health issues. And I ended up not going out because Oregon has a pretty large fire. It was 12,000 acres, the Milepost 97 fire, I believe it's called. It's gone across I-5 and everything. I would have gone out, but I actually went up to McLeod and seeing the smoke up there and checking out the air quality maps. The fire had dumped a ton of unhealthy smoke. It was red zone all through the area I was going to hike, and I thought, for one day, it's not worth going out into that. I can come back and finish that in a day and some change later after the Sierras. So I elected not to go out into that and have the super lung irritants. So, sucks to not do that one, but it was pretty bad, and I thought about waiting a day, but I did check, and the fire got worse, and the air quality actually got worse out there. So I think I made the right call not going out for that one day. Hopefully the wildfires in Oregon will be contained and smoke-free once I get back up to the Oregon area. Back at Kennedy Meadows, a little drive down here. My mom and her boyfriend Rich took me down, and I'm back at the trailhead. It is a good feeling to be here. I kind of feel like I missed something along the way going to Northern California, so I'm really happy to be here and kind of finish that section that I missed. I saw one other hiker at Kennedy Meadows, but that place is a ghost town right now. So I can tell most people have moved on through or are moving on through, or they haven't come back yet. But excited to get started and get into the Sierras. I think it's going to be beautiful.
desert's still holding on a little bit, but I have a feeling these will be disappearing very quickly. I did 14.3 miles, I believe, 14 and a half, something like that, to a bridge in the Kern River here. The bridge has a bunch of sparrows under it, which is kind of cool. And Kern River is a good source of water. The campsites here are gorgeous. They're like manicured. People stacked rocks around them and they're perfectly flat. There's a big fire pit. So this thing has really been built out. So it was a good site. I thought about trying to go a little bit farther, but I had a late start to the day, so I was getting here around after 6 or so. So figure I'll just set up. Plus I was feeling kind of tired. I don't know if it's the 40-pound pack with all that food and Sierra's gear, or if it's because I had a week off and I'm getting back to the trail, or the elevation change. I gained about 2,000 feet. I'm just under 8,000 feet right here, which I think is a good place to camp and kind of get used to it overnight, because tomorrow I'll start climbing. I think I'm actually going to get up to 10,000 feet tomorrow, which is where I'll be hanging out for a while. But tired right now, so I'm going to get to bed early. At least I ate some of the food out of my bear canister, so it gets lighter each time I do it. So incentive to eat. Well, I'm tired. Time for bed. This poor little moth was hiding under my tent. I think he was looking for some place that was warm, and he could barely move when I got him up, but he did respond when I got him in my hand, so I put him in a little patch of sunlight, and maybe he'll warm up and go do his mothy things. I'd say it's safe to say that they don't like me in their Sierras. I've gone about 9.5 miles and finally stopped for some lunch. I found a little stream. It looked like it dried up, but I found actually some decent flow about 40 feet downstream. So that worked out. Have my bug net here. The mosquitoes were wanting to harass me while I ate lunch. But it's been a beautiful hike thus far. A little gasp inducing at times because I'm now at the 10,000 foot mark. So I'm glad I got a night to sleep at 8,000 feet just to get used to that a little bit more before I got up here. But been gorgeous thus far. Haven't seen a soul up here, which is kind of cool actually. And I'm making decent miles. Well, the elevation thing. Once that's over, I think I can make some decent miles if this type of trail keeps up. I'm over 10,000 and I haven't seen a bit of snow yet. I hope that trend keeps up because that's about the elevation for most of the Sierras is 10,000, other than the passes, which go way up over that, and I know we'll have snow. But doing pretty well thus far, and I'm enjoying the Sierras. They are absolutely gorgeous. That fire's been burning since early this morning. I saw it from a different angle, and it doesn't look like it's gotten any bigger, so I'm assuming it's a controlled burn. At least I hope it is. Wow, this hill is something else. Getting toward the end of the day, and I have a 4.5 mile climb up. I still have, I think, 1.8 miles to go. In addition to my heavy pack, since once I get up past the ridge, the water sources aren't there, so I have to dry camp. So I'm having to haul up water with me too. So this is killing me above 10,000 feet. I hope my body gets used to this elevation soon. Woo! Well, 1.8, high on the prize. I was exhausted when I hit camp last night. Checked out the awesome views of the Owens Valley. I guess I was on Owens Peak, rough thereabouts. And after that, found my campsite, made camp, ate as fast as possible, and then went to bed. And even with all that, I still slept fitfully. I kept waking up, had a slight headache. I don't know if it's related to the elevation change or just carrying a heavy pack or a little bit of everything. But a little tired this morning, but I do feel a little bit more rested. My legs don't feel so exhausted, so that's good. Beautiful sunrise, and today I get to go over Mulkey Pass, which, according to Guthook, has no snow, which is good. But Sierras are still beautiful and unique. I love all these rock formations around.
nothing like I've seen anywhere else. So pretty cool. It makes me want to keep going forward. I made it to my first pass. This one's Moki Pass, and no snow. Love it. One thing I forgot to mention, yesterday was the very first day on the PCT that I hiked all day and didn't see another person. And I thought I might be doing the same thing here, but then I ran across a group of I don't know, horseback riders, I guess, but they had their pack animals and were going out to camp, so it was kind of cool to see them and see the little pack animals. Right about now, I was really wishing I had one to put this pack on. He'd be my best buddy. That fire I saw yesterday is still going, but doesn't look like it's any bigger, so must be controlled. Had a good day yesterday. Made it 25 miles. Actually went over 3 passes and passed into Sequoia Kings Canyon. So it looks a little bit nicer here. I do like the South Sierra, but all these green trees are pretty nice. And the mosquitoes, not as much. Speaking of mosquitoes, I better get on the move, because if you stop for 2 seconds, they find you. Found a good campsite last night next to a stream, and I was going to set my tent up next to it, but I was instantly swarmed with a cloud of mosquitoes. I'd never had so many mosquitoes around me. So I moved a little ways away from the river and got it down to about 10 mosquitoes, and had a nice little site underneath a tree and retreated to my tent as quickly as possible, and I managed to hop in and out with only getting 2 in, so I consider that a success. But I was beat up. The last 5 miles I thought were going to be easy downhill. They turned out to be sandy and rocky downhill, which are a little bit harder, and boy oh boy was I feeling it when I got into camp. But feeling good now, and now the Sierra's adventure really begins. I'm just about to my first river crossing of many, I guess. I think I have like 3 today at least. I think the first one I might be able to cross some logs that people have thrown down. I don't know, I'll see. Others, you get to get your feet cold. But my goal for today is to get myself at the base of Forester Pass so that tomorrow I can go over it, and I will be happy to be done with that one. I will admit that that is a source of some trepidation, but I haven't heard anyone dying on it, so
it seems like the rivers are actually more dangerous, probably because people underestimate the water. But take it slow and get over it. But for right now, I've got some beautiful scenery and I've got some rivers to cross. So yes, this is a sizable river to cross. Now there's supposedly some logs, I think, upstream. So I'm going to see about doing that versus getting in the freezing water early in the morning. There's this log. Or these logs. I know which one I'm going with. Cake. I wish they were all going to be that easy. These rocky trails uphill kind of suck, but they're infinitely better than doing it in snow. And the second crossing. I can see a little obstacle course through there I might be able to take across that log and some stone. But I might look for something a little better. Too easy. I reached the cutoff where you would go over to Mount Whitney if you wanted to summit it. I had originally plans on doing that, but as I'm over 3 weeks behind due to off trail, find out what the health issues are, I'm way behind. So I need to make up every day I can, and if I'm choosing between finishing the trail and summiting Whitney, I don't really care about summiting Whitney. I can do it again another time if I really care. I was going to do it because I was in the neighborhood, but summiting mountains never been my raison d'etre. This is also the beginning of the overlap of the PCT and the JMT. And I guess with one small little segment, the PCT and JMT overlap from here up until Tuolumne Meadows. So there's quite a bit of overlap there. So you get 2 for 1 on this segment. I avoided getting my feet wet until now, but looks like I get to get them wet. Doesn't look too challenging though. I've met a number of southbound JMT hikers, and I've been interviewing them, like, because I know they start up in Yosemite Valley, and the trail is the same from Tuolumne Meadows down to like Cottonwood Pass. So, how are the passes? And I've been getting answers about Forester Pass like, man, easy, piece of cake, which I like to hear. In fact, I asked one guy, hey, how about all the passes? And he said, yeah, they were no problem, so don't need to worry. So it sounds like I probably won't need my ice axe, and probably can dump it in Independence, which would be a good thing because I've got way too much weight in this pack. I was going to go 2.8 miles farther up the mountain and get a little closer to the summit, but based on a couple things. One, the reports of all the southbound JMT hikers, they were all coming over at Forester Pass, and no big deal, and none of them had ice axes. So, and one of them, even, I talked to him, and he went over at 3 p.m. I asked him about the snow, and he says, oh, it's a little slippery, but that's on the other side, no big deal. So I thought, okay, great. It doesn't seem like it's much to worry about, so I'm not going to worry about it. And as I started climbing, I noticed the wind was really kicking up. And after the point I'm at, the tree line stops, and up near the top where I was going to go, you have rocks and sand to choose from. And that didn't sound like a good recipe to try to set up my tent in that element. So I came back here to the tree line, and there's a little bit closer water, only 0.1 miles away, and found a nice little tent spot. Got some good views and a little bit sheltered from the wind, and my tent won't blow away because I have some good soil to put my stakes in. So that's a good thing. I'm looking forward to getting up at a normal time. I'm not going to get up super early if the thing isn't covered in snow, and go and knock out Forester Pass. Looking forward to getting that done. I'm also looking forward to getting down to Independence because I could use a town day now for some food and a shower and clean my clothes. Okay, I'm going to bed. Here's the infamous chute. Still with a little bit of snow, but I won't have to walk across any. And that's what you could slip down if you slip on the chute. Not fun. I made it. This is the highest I've ever been. At least I got pretty purple flowers up here. And I don't know what a little chipmunk is doing up here. Maybe eating these flowers, but he's all the way up here. He wouldn't let me video him though. But this is pretty exciting. Now I'm glad I brought my microspikes because there is a snowfield to take all the way down. Shouldn't be a problem.